Career plateaus are common, but they are not inevitable. Stick around. I'm going to talk to you about why many outlets will have you believe that in your 40s and 50s, you are going to reach the top of your career and not be able to go any further. Well, that's just not true. It's got a lot more to do with proactivity than reactivity. And if you share with me these few minutes, I'll tell you the 5 reasons why career plateaus happen and what you can do about it. The first reason that we hit a career plateau or we have that feeling of getting stuck is because we end up going through the motions. And you'll know what this looks like if this is you, because it happened to me. So I would wake up every day and I'd be thinking about the day ahead and I'd have this feeling. Uh, I just wouldn't want to go to work. I got to the point where I kind of get anxious about going to work, or actually get a little bit depressed, not wanting to get out of bed. And if you've got those experiences going on for you, I know exactly how you feel. So I want to share that with you. It feels like we're grinding. It feels like we don't know where to go next. So we're looking for the path out, we're looking for the way forward, but we're not quite sure, because the two things that cloud our judgment are we get paid well. We're already successful. The other thing is we're typically working in a team of people that we actually like working with. We like being around them. We like the connectivity. We like the community. We like the belonging to that environment. But here's why you may be feeling like you're grinding your gears, going through the motions. And it's because you don't actually believe in what it is that you do. That's right. You don't believe in the mission anymore because your core value is placed somewhere else. So I'm here to tell you, if we can get you aligned with your core values, the thing that you value more than most in life, and have you working in a role that marries to that core value, you won't ever feel like you're grinding or going through the motions ever again. The second reason why you may feel that you are now hitting that career plateau, getting stuck, not sure what's next for you, is because you've lost your hunger for promotion. That's right. I've been in that position too. I remember thinking about my career and the number of times where either if I was a senior manager or a director or a senior director, I would sell myself, have this internal dialogue going on inside that would be telling me, what if this is as good as it gets? You've got it good. You get paid well. You're enjoying some of the work, maybe not all of the work. Why do you need to get promoted? It's only going to lead to more responsibility. And some of us actually have a fear of that responsibility. So we sell ourselves on the idea that we are satiated, that we don't need to be promoted. Yeah, I've had this with a client of mine right now. I'm not going to expose my client, but I want to let you know. He has said to me, I don't want promotion. I'm good. I'm good where I'm at. But yet this is the same person who feels like they plateaued, who feels like they were grinding, who feels like they were going through the motions. And because of that, can't fulfill their own core value, can't fulfill their own needs for fulfillment. So that is where I want you to focus. The reason why you're not hungry for promotion anymore is probably a fear of what it entails. So think about that as you go forward in this process. The third reason why you may feel like you've got your career plateau is that you've got to this point where your thirst for learning is no longer the same as it was. Remember when you first start the job, in those first 90 days, you're eager to learn, you're asking questions, your curiosity is at its peak. And if that's you, you'll understand now when you look at your activities during the day, how much curiosity are you inserting into everything that's going on inside your organization? Now, I had the privilege of working in very small businesses, less than 20 people, but also super large ones, thousands of people worldwide. In those super large organizations, you frequently will never know how much is going on because it's very difficult to connect with everyone. But I recommend that you do connect with people as a way of increasing the amount of your learning. And I'll come on to that in a moment, of the things you can do to get yourself out of this plateau and moving forward. But the thirst for learning is so important because when you're in the learning process, you're in progress and you're feeling growth because you're learning new things. We all seek that moment. We want to feel alive in our work. And how do we feel alive? It's the same thing that we all say when we go to HR and say, hey, I'm looking for another role, is that we want another challenge. And we're not feeling challenged in our role. And so our thirst for learning goes down. Sometimes we get a little bit cocky and we start to say, well, I'm the fountain of wisdom. I know everybody comes to me for the answers. But sometimes it's a bad move to become the brightest star in the constellation. The thirst for learning is not the same as it was. Stay curious. Okay, so we've talked about the reasons that you may feel like you're in a career plateau, or you got that feeling of getting stuck, that you don't know where to go next. You don't know what the career path ahead of you is. We quickly reviewed, you're going through the motions, grinding, waking up each day with that heavy, well, how do I get out of this position? You may not be hungry for the promotion anymore because you know that entails responsibility, and you're maybe not learning in the same way you were when you first started the role. And certainly if you're 2 to 4 years down the path, you've probably already done the job and you are ready for that next challenge, as we discussed. So let's talk about the things you can do. Here's the first thing I would want you to do, and that is to set your daily intentions. Now, most people get this confused with a to-do list. I don't want you to have a to-do list. A to-do list typically looks like a whole laundry list of things that you need to do on the day or a given week. Some of you are writing this out every day, and that's taking you 20, 30 minutes. That's wasting time because it's the same list as the one yesterday, and you want to have it clean and neat and tidy and make sure it looks lovely. That's not the way to go. What we're looking for is on that list, there is probably 20% of the items that are actually needle moving items. And what do I mean by needle moving? Well, promotions and reward are tied specifically to three things. Where do you make money for the company? Where are you saving money for the company? Or where are you making things better? How do you improve the efficiency of what goes on inside an organization or a company? But most importantly, it's efficacy, the results that you get based upon the effort that you're putting in. So I really want you to focus on your daily intentions being maybe the top 20% of that list, and then eliminate, delegate, or automate everything else that's on that list, because that 80% doesn't really move things. So you spending time on that over and over and over isn't actually helping anyone. It's not helping you. It's not helping your manager, your peer group, your subordinates. It's not helping the company. So we've got to drop those things. And this is why you're in back-to-back meetings where typically you don't feel like you can contribute all the time, because the things that you're talking about aren't moving the needle. There's a lot of inefficiencies, a lot of inefficient planning, a lot of inefficient sitting around a table, talking about topics, and people get distracted. The distractions come in from all the way. Now, setting daily intention means finding one, two, or maximum three things that you will do that day. I'd love you to think about these to be modern day critical skills. So the things I would like to see on your daily intention is communication. Most people have communication on their resume and they are not good at communication. In fact, I would say I'm not a very good communicator. So if you think I'm a good communicator, believe me, I am a work in progress. There's so many things that I stuff up about my verbal and written communication. I'm a work in progress. Even at age 50, I'm a work in progress. So that you've got to get better at your communication. So that's a really good intention of working on your communication. How much better can I articulate a message? Next, you may be thinking about support and advocacy for others. I recommend that this is a critical skill. How well are you influencing others outside of you? I don't want you to control them, but I do want you to do a couple of things. One, get them thinking about themselves, get them thinking about others, and get them thinking about the company as a whole and the clients and the world around them. And when you've done that and they're asking you questions and you're engaged, here's what you're going to notice about that intention of advocacy. You're going to be able to help them grow, how to grow themselves, how to grow other people, and how to grow the company as a whole. Setting daily intentions is vital, but your list, your daily intentions list has got to be so short. So I've given you a couple of examples, communication and advocacy, but it could be about problem solving. What problem will I solve today? Ask yourself that question. What problem will I solve today? Which customer will I impact today? These are critical things that people don't set on their daily intention. They just have a list of email Jackie, reply to John's email, go to a meeting, finish this document. And a lot of these things are not helping you. They are increasing the grind, but they're not changing the game. The game is about making money. The game is about saving money. The game is about efficiencies and efficacy, how easily the organization gets results. So focus on that with your daily intentions, and you'll notice your career will change dramatically. Okay, I want to just pause right now and talk to you a little bit about, I have this obligation to serve people. I would love for you to take the opportunity to sit down with me for 30 minutes and just talk about your career. And if that's something you're interested in, you can see a link in below to click on a link and you can book a call with me. It's totally free. We'll spend time, an introduction call to speak to each other, give you 2 or 3 big ideas that are going to make the difference for you. Okay, finally, without doubt, I think the biggest thing that's going to make the difference for you when you're thinking about your career plateau or that feeling of getting stuck and I don't know where I'm going to go next. Where is my outlet? Where's my escape? Where's my exit here? What's the next opportunity for me? When you're asking these questions for you, without doubt, the best thing you can do is double down on your relationships. And I'm talking about your existing relationships to begin with. So let's talk about those. In your existing relationships, I want you to deepen the conversation. I have a very good friend of mine, Holly. Holly and I have been in conversation now for about 15 months. And in those conversations, more and more of the onion is being weathered. The skin of the onion is revealing more and more things about what we don't know about each other. What drives us, what fuels us. And so she's learned a lot about me and my family and my freedom and the peace of mind that I experience. And I've learned a lot about her family and what drives her, what her key core values are, and what's the thing that's going to really light her up, not just in work, but in her life too. And you need to get to these relationships with people in and around you to change the game. And one thing, when we feel stuck, we sometimes react or retract. We actually step away from those relationships and we're worried about, well, if I tell somebody that I'm not enjoying my role, they may tell HR or my manager, or yeah, they may. And that's okay too, as long as the conversation is open and it's honest. And no one's going to have a knee-jerk reaction if you are being who you are. But these relationships are vital. So I definitely want you to focus on deepening the relationships with the people who are closest to you. Now, my recommendation is always peer group. Find the people who are at the same level as you. You know why? Because they're probably suffering with some of the same issues. And if they're not suffering with them now, they have, or they will. I told you right at the beginning, career plateaus are common, but they are not inevitable. They don't have to be. This is about proactivity. So I want you to proactively invest in those relationships with your peer group. Now, there are other places you can go. You can invest in your relationship with your manager. And some of you will be watching this and going, oh, that sucks. My manager doesn't listen to me. We have a very strange relationship. Or you have the opposite. My manager and I are so friendly, so familiar with each other. Oh, I still feel the career plateau. There might be a reason for that you've become best friends and you're not focused on the outputs of the company, which means you don't have any progression and growth. Then work with your team. If you have a team, you're privileged to be a manager and you've got subordinates, so you've got people who work for you inside of your hierarchy. I recommend that you double down on those relationships. I always talk about my good friend Brandon in these videos. I loved building my relationship with him over time because we were two separate individuals when we first met, and I was his manager. We knew nothing about each other. But over the period of 3 or 4 years of working together, we really deepened that relationship to the point where he was able to say to me, "Hey, James, I feel listened to, but I don't feel heard." Look about that as a really courageous step forward in deepening a relationship with someone. And now, it's been one of the most impressive performers that I've ever had the privilege of working with. The last thing I want you to do, think about your new relationships or the people you don't know as well. So we're deepening relationships with existing people, but I want you to broaden the amount of people in that peer group. If you work in a large or a mid-sized company, there are lots of people in your organization who you've kept your distance from. It's time to go and double down on those relationships. All of these people in the peer group are the people that get you out of where you are. This is like if there was an elixir or there was a solution, it's the people who've got similar experiences to you. You've either been in that plateau and they found a way past it, or they don't know they're going to be in a plateau and all of a sudden you have a conversation with them and they say, oh, I'm feeling like you too. And then the pair of you can buddy up and start to come up with solutions. Because one thing I know about you, talking to a very particular person, you're really good at decision making and you're really good at problem solving. So these conversations help you do both of those things. So if you are feeling stuck, a problem, and you need to make a decision, having more data points with these people is going to make a massive difference to your outcomes. Hey, look, I've really enjoyed going through this. If you're in that plateau and you're feeling that way, I feel for you right now because I've been in that position. I know exactly what it's like to not know the way out. And if you're maddened by this and you're frustrated by this, I really want you to take the opportunity to book that intro call, and that's in the link down below. Thank you for listening for this little video about career plateau. The next place you need to go is just to this video right here, and I'm going to see you inside. I'll see you over there.